I had a couple of thoughts, the sabotage wave, and just like where that kind of thing is going, because there's definitely something there on like multiple levels. I think like in a more under the radar level that has to do with oil and gas refineries and things like that. I think there's very much,
because you said you like when you mentioned these oil and gas refineries, like to me, they'll like I think in Cuba there was a,
oh
but
yeah,
like I don't know, but that's clearly like something else. That's not workers sabotaging themselves. I don't think like the working class guy in or person in Cuba is like blowing up the refinery or what have you. Like
but
to say,
that's how it presents. Like,
yeah,
that's how it looks on the ground, right? But it's
that's
obviously that's not what's happening. But like because they use that as the cover.
wow. Yeah, but there's that thing that's a regime change like playbook, right? Like where they like sufficiently completely impoverish like the working class in a nation through sanctions and embargoes and whatnot. And then they're like, oh, the regime there must be so bad because look how like angry and starved those people are. So obvious. And then people are like, but I don't know, the regime looks pretty bad. Like maybe it's good that we're bombing bombing their schools or something. Like
Yeah, and I mean, I have a point just even about that stuff with like the Cuba thing. Like, I think it's kind of even when like right now, like when people from the West like have gone and done those missions and things like that there, and amidst all of what's happening, there's like this aspect where people do this thing where they talk about like not everyone in Cuba is gung ho about the regime. Not everyone in Cuba is crazy about their government. And it's just like, what the fuck is the point of even saying that if you're going there as a Westerner? Because all you're doing is creating the pretext to normalize that that's a sentiment without giving the context that the reason that people aren't gung ho about the government is because of the conditions that the US has
yeah,
created.
it's
And
the
so you're just normal, you're just backdoor and
wow, no,
things, right?
it's because that regime there is like totally oppressing the shit out of their people. It's got nothing to do with America. Like they just
Yeah. Or the current president, uh, it bothers me, I can't remember his name, but he's very inaffectionate. He's a very like he's a doofus. Like he's for sure a doofus. But like that doesn't matter. Who fucking cares? We're not gonna like it's not a talking point to say like, oh yeah, there's a lot of people in Cuba that think he's a fucking clown. And like if you're a Westerner going there and voicing that, it's so detrimental to like the optics, where it's just like,
I would
uh,
love to see like because for the most part they show these rallies and they talk to people that are part of like a diaspora, right? Like if you were to go find Americans that had emigrated from America, probably specifically to do with their unnamed current president or whatever, can you imagine what those people would fucking say? Like I'll bet you there's, you know, let's say refugees. I'm not trying to cheapen that word there or anything, but there's probably some American refugees in Canada. Like I bet. And if you go and talk to them, they would probably have some very fucking unkind things to say about the current president.
well, I
Like,
mean, that the thing is, like, I know there is, I live in Montreal and there is a lot of quote unquote American refugees to Canada. It's just that they're upper middle class and they have the ability to leave, right?
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, 100%. Yeah.
and so it's like they're the expat, like, right? Like it's those types of people who have the ability to uproot themselves, you know.
Yeah,
But yeah.
like, let's get the fuck out of here. Like,
Yeah, and I
it's
mean, I bet you even in the inverse, I bet you there's some people who are like because of like ICE and things like that. I mean, I bet there's at least one. Like people who have like a family connection or like a heritage connection to Cuba who have gone back to Cuba because of, you know what I mean? Because of like people in fucking like like Alabama or like Louisiana, I'm speaking purely of ignorance about this, but like this is a fact. The life expectancy rate in Cuba is slightly higher than it is in the United States. The literacy rate in Cuba is exponentially higher than it is in America.
Oh yeah, like I
Cuba,
read an
Cuba has a
article.
vaccine for lung cancer.
Yeah. Oh, did you see this? Pancreatic cancer. Um, so I guess they're able to like synthesize a messenger RNA vaccine that like prolongs pancreatic cancer sufferers like a fucking outrageous amount. Like, you know what I mean? It's like it's this incredibly
Oh
deadly
my god.
form of fucking cancer. And like this is like an incredible massive like medical fucking breakthrough in my
Yeah.
opinion.
This is
And
it's Cuba is actively treating pancreatic cancer using innovative biotechnology, notably the monoclonal antibody nemotuzumab, which is shown success in increasing survival rates for advanced indent carcinoma.
this
So
is this is in Cuba?
yeah, what's crazy too, Mark, is that like the U.S. will say that they're developing bioweapons. That's what this is. That this is a bioweapon.
Oh yeah,
This-
yeah.
because it's like this biotech that's used to fight cancer. They will literally. That's why this is a part of why, and this is a good segue to what we were talking about.
They
Like
must be destroyed.
like with Bush, when Bush said that Cuba was developing like biological weapons, this is the type of shit that they were pointing to. Like
Right, right.
this type of biotech research that they were doing at the time was to develop this type of innovative cancer research shit to fight fucking cancer in ways that because they're the product of the embargo, they only have so many ways to do this, right? So everything is like this advanced type of it's like holistic medicine, but advanced. And they export it. And that's a huge part of just like the Cuban, like,
Impetus to destroy them.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And also like the resilience of them and why they are like why they won't ever go away because they're embedded in the well-being of all of the global south because of their a resource, because of their innovation in these fields that is cut off from the West. So it's like it's not even happening.
That just made me think of there's this thing, and I read something about the enriched uranium. Well, like enriched uranium isn't only for bombs,
Yeah.
right? So for like medical shit, right? So like if you can't enrich uranium, you like can't do X-rays or some. I like obviously I'm no doctor or fucking scientist, but it's like no, actually, there's like important shit that we need that stuff for.
I could be totally wrong, but I'm pretty sure that uranium is used in some types of chemotherapy. This might
Yeah,
be
yeah.
to say.
Or like medical imaging and stuff like
Yeah,
this.
yeah,
And that there's a certain percentage of enrichment and like so Iran is just like supplying the world actually with medical diagnostic shit. And like wow, it's just because there's this very like racist notion that Iran is like just this completely backward like it's kind of like Orientalism, but like they must be just a bunch of backward fucking Bedouins on camels. So
yep,
like nothing they can possibly be doing can be like normal or like or normal Western. It can't be like benevolent.
yep,
But anything they must be doing is malevolent or like war mongering, right? And then look at what we got with like fucking Jeffrey Epstein. He's like doing like genome shit or whatever with like MIT and like all these fucking universities so he can make more Jeffrey Epsteins. And they're like, oh, like good, good. He's like funding fertility research or some shit like that. And you're like, what the fuck? Like, no, that guy is a bad guy. That guy is a bad guy. Like, no, that's not good. It's like, oh fuck. And then
yeah.
meanwhile, we have these other countries that are like, we invented a cure for fucking cancer. And they're like, fucking bioweapons, destroy them all. Like, oh my God. We're like, we've got this rich uranium to like do MRIs or some
So
or they
So
use
this is
coal.
it. So uranium is not used directly as chemotherapy. It's
Okay.
used to produce medical isotopes that alpha emitting isotopes derived from reprocessed uranium that are used to destroy cancer cells precisely, often for advanced cancers, while sparing healthy tissue. So
Oh,
they can like tune these isotopes to go after these certain cells using uranium. And it would make sense too. Like this makes sense. Like obviously a place like Iran would do this and then bring it to somewhere like Cuba that would be able to use these types of advanced isotopes in a greater way than say they would, you know what I mean? And it would empower them.
welcome, baby. Yeah, let's do this.